good evening, and welcome. I am Odu, and welcome to In the Groove. And tonight, this very special evening, we're happy to have you all here to join us for our cocktails and conversation with the one and only legendary Miss Linda Clifford. We're going to talk about Runaway Love. We're going to talk about Red Lights. We're going to talk about Don't Giving It Up. All kinds of things are going to go down as we discuss her music career, her songs, Queens of Disco, and some of our favorite songs and some of our favorite memories with Miss Linda Clifford. So go on, fix yourself a drink, grab yourself a seat, and come back and join us in the groove.
When I heard that song, it came out when I was about 3 or 4.
Which was absolutely amazing. I could go on and on. I love her. Oh, one more thing. Even after.
We're so grateful for the music that has taught us how to love, how to live, how to dance, and how to jam. It's no coincidence that
he just said, you know what, I'm just going to put this song right here at the beginning. It's going to be in America's Songbook. Y'all going to remember it.
It's relevant and on point and on target at all times. And so during this time, it's not the Oscars. You wasn't going to touch your mic, boo-boo.
You've done it before.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
right.
What's happening?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Let me tell the folks out there, we all grinning because we've been hanging out with Miss Linda Clifford backstage. And
yes,
let
Lord.
me tell you something. If you ain't never been backstage behind the groove, we was behind the groove tonight. But we are here,
My
and I
God.
see y'all are here. Lawrence is here. Hillary's here. Hillary says, hey, Linda, don't worry. She'll be here in a few.
Yes.
Jason, what's going on? Aaron, hey, what's up, Stan? If you're here, let us know you are in the room. And since we have a lot of folks we don't know, let us know where you're from. We'll scream that out as well. So
Yes.
as beautiful as we are, we know y'all here to see Linda Clifford. Okay. But before we have Linda Clifford come out, we want to just say a couple of things. Shout out this week for All This Blackness, which is how we've been opening the show, celebrating wonderful things that have occurred since the last time we saw y'all. And this week, we're going to celebrate our brother Donnell, who has just hit Donnell in the blood, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations. For folks who don't know, Donnell is an author. And he is featured in, now is it an anthology or all 5 of you writing one story?
It is an anthology, yes.
Okay. Donnell is featured in the anthology. It's being published by Rainbow Room Publishing, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, look, I do my family. I take care of my family. So again, congratulations to you. And
Yes.
now we
Go,
are going
Donnell.
to get on. What's going on, Charles? What's up, Rob? We see y'all coming in the room. And before we bring out Linda Clifford, let's share a little more about her and let's hear some of the music. Hey, Rainier, she's not here, but she's out there. What's going on? And then we'll have Miss Clifford come out and join us. So, Sue, why don't we give the folks a little something?
Here's a tune for you that I hope you'll recognize. It's called If My Friends Could Sing It Out.
Award-winning entertainer Linda Clifford has made her mark alongside classic R&B singers and legendary disco divas. Electrifying audiences with her music and widely celebrated performances, this multi-talented and dynamic entertainer's accomplishments are expansive. Linda's landmark recordings have spent a total of 60 weeks at #1 on Billboard magazine's dance charts, earning Grammy Award and American Music Award nominations. Seen by millions through her many televised performances, Linda has appeared on American Bandstand, Solid Gold, Soul Train, and a host of other shows. She is an exciting live performer with sold-out live concerts around the world and was featured on the Oscar-winning #1 motion picture soundtrack album, Fame. Linda established herself as an actress with roles in such classic films as Sweet Charity and Rosemary's Baby with Mia Farrow. Linda Clifford began her musical career at the early age of 4 and was singing on local New York television programs when she was 7 years old. Over the years, she has appeared with greats such as Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, and the Jericho Singers. She later toured the country with her own trio, Linda and the Trade Winds. She then switched musical directions, singing R&B and pop music, and found early success with a Paramount record single, It's Gonna Be a Long, Long Winter. Eventually, Linda signed with R&B giant Curtis Mayfield and his Curtom Records. Her first album, Linda, featured the hit single From Now On and her disco-tized remake of If My Friends Could See Me Now, which shot to #1 on the dance charts, affording her numerous accolades. More #1 success followed with Don't Come Crying to Me, Shoot Your Best Shot, and Linda's smash hit Runaway Love, which topped the Billboard Disco Dance charts for 16 weeks and reached #3 on Billboard's R&B chart. She scored more success with the hit single Red Light that appeared on the multi-million-selling, Oscar-winning #1 soundtrack album Fame. The song earned a Grammy Award nomination and spent 9 weeks at #1 on Billboard's dance chart. At the peak of her fame, Linda decided to concentrate on her personal life. Redirecting her career allowed her more time at home to raise her family. Linda began singing commercial jingles for McDonald's, Cherry Coke, and other major brands, in addition to the television themes to The Phil Donahue Show and the police drama Chicago. During this period, Linda also found time to record several albums for Red Label Records. A gifted songwriter, Linda was recently signed to one of the world's biggest publishing houses, Warner Chappell Music. In 2005, Linda was presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Chicago Music Awards for her many accomplishments in the music industry. When Linda is not on the road, she utilizes her experiences as a performer and former Miss New York State in the Miss USA pageant as an instructor at Roosevelt University's Music Conservatory. Linda Clifford is a true entertainer in every sense of the word, taking audiences on an exhilarating musical journey while touching, shaping, and setting fire to their soul.
All right. And here she is, Miss Linda Clifford. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. How
Hey.
are you?
Hello.
Oh,
We are so honored to have you here.
Odu, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Where's your? I can't hear Odu.
You can't hear me?
Diva is
That
in the
was
house.
great.
Well, they'll talk.
We're going to work it out.
Yeah, they'll talk to you. I will do some things. Okay. Don't worry. We still got this. So this
Okay,
is the
we
deal.
know
I'm
it.
going to talk to people. Well, let her know that Dominic said, hey, what's in the house? Aaron's here. Jason said, hey, my son is here. What's up, Bill? What's going on? We have Maine in the house. We got Brooklyn in the house, the 718. We got West Hollywood in the house. So we got all over. Look, it's the Ukraine. I see Bermuda. Now I'm making that up, but you know, we
Oh, I was
international.
about to say.
We're going to stand in that. Now, Linda, can you hear me now?
Okay, so we have Dominic in the house. We have who says hi. We have we have oh, hold on, let me go here to these comments here. We have Aaron Kelly in the house, Hillary Wink in the house, Stanley is in the house, Jason Cruz says hello, Diva. Everybody can hear you, and Hillary Wink says hey, Linda.
Don't say that out loud, chat.
Okay.
Don't hold that, because we know
Okay.
about that. That's coming. Don't worry,
okay.
Hillary, that's coming.
Okay.
So check it out. Let's get into it. While we work out the sound thing, we'll still be able to communicate. Keonde, since you gave us that incredible voiceover, you got us all Jones. And why don't you keep it going with the toast tonight?
With the toast, my goodness. So we are here in the room tonight in the groove, and I'm so excited. And I want to lift a glass to Miss Linda Clifford, to the Groove Masters, to all of us, to remember to keep love in mind, keep music in your heart, and stay in the groove.
Yes,
Raise
yes.
a glass.
Cheers, cheers.
Yes.
Yes, Rainier, I know y'all can hear me. Linda Clifford can't hear me, but thank you, Rainier. So, well, okay, we're going to open up with an early, conversation about early stuff. Now, if Linda can't hear me,
we'll translate.
Wants to kick it?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it like that. Let's just be full service here.
Yes.
So, where I wanted to go to is, I know Linda started like at the age of 4. Has always, the spotlight has kind of been a second home for her. And then we saw, through the years becoming Miss New York State. And I wanted to start with Miss New York State. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Bingo. Yes. Let's have a toast to that.
Yes,
a toast to hearing.
Yes, absolutely.
I was telling them stuff you already know about yourself. So kind of your whole life you've been in show business, starting at 4. So the spotlight is like your second home. And
pretty much.
Yeah, I want to jump to you, Miss New York State. You get crowned, you get sashed, you all da. What did you think your career would be like? What did you want to do next?
I wanted to have the musical experience of being on the road, traveling. I wanted to see the world, experience different forms of entertaining and performing. Maybe, my big dream at that time was like doing nightclubs or doing Broadway.
Okay.
That was, because I'm a Brooklyn girl. So, I had to go to Broadway. Unfortunately, I was not tall enough for the people they were looking for.
Oh, okay. All right.
I actually, it's so funny. I thought, well, I'll be a rockette.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go be a rockette because I did study dance and I thought I could be a rockette.
Mm-hmm. So you was going to go kick. Okay. All right. All right.
And you know that at that time, unbeknownst to me, they did not have any African-American rockettes.
Right.
And not only that, but you had to be 5'10".
Oh.
Minimum.
Okay.
Those women got legs. Okay, they are tall. And I do not fit into that category.
Okay, all right.
That was kind of a letdown, but I did manage to work the Catskill circuit, which was so much fun and great experience for me. I learned a lot. I learned how to sing in Hebrew and Yiddish.
Oh, okay. Prove it.
Learned
No.
Prove it. Jane vidi levana, lichtig wie die Sterne. You want
All
more?
right. Well, a toast to that.
No. I did. And actually, I learned 6 languages.
Wow. Okay.
And when I worked the Catskills, it was wonderful. It was a little variety show, which back in the day was actually burlesque, but not burlesque like, no, if you
want to pump it with a trumpet. I mean,
it was that kind of burlesque. No, it was just fast costume changes, comedy, singing and dancing, that kind of thing. And so I played so many characters. I was Carmen Miranda, so my Latin accent had to be correct. I was Ethel Waters. I was Eddie Cantor. All these famous, burlesque people and comedy people. So, costume changes and that kind of thing. But that's an experience that young people unfortunately don't get anymore. You
Right.
really get to hone your craft when you're doing
Mhm.
6, 7, 8 shows a week, going from hotel to hotel, and learning different languages and how to react to people, and that kind of thing. So I was very fortunate with that.
Yeah. And it comes through. I mean, if anybody's ever seen your stage performance, like it's clear that you know what you're doing up there. It's clear you're working the stage, the room. We're going to talk about it a little later, because often when you're on stage, a bunch of people pop up behind you. I don't even know if you know, but you keep it going. So you clearly have that down pat. And interestingly enough, so you talked about Broadway, you talked about the Catskills, but we cannot leave out the fact that you did make a beeline to Hollywood, and you did some flicks.
I did.
Mhm.
And here's the funny part about the movies that I was involved in. All of the movies actually were filmed in New York.
New York, right?
Or except for the Boston Strangler. That was
Mhm.
actually filmed in Boston. So I was on set for that. But everything else was filmed in New York. And then I flew out to LA thinking, I'm going to be a star in the movies, And that didn't work out. So I did put a band together,
Right.
and started singing in clubs. And
Mhm.
that was the most incredible thing for me, just being on the road and doing that.
Okay, and that's the trade winds.
That with the trade. Listen, we had so many names back in the day. The trade, it was Linda and somebody else. I don't even know anymore. But we changed our names every 2
Mhm.
weeks. But yeah, we were out there.
Okay, no, I mean, and then we come, so we'll just travel the journey. And it's funny you talked about Broadway. We'll get back to Sweet Charity in a minute, because that was Broadway. You ended up doing the film. And I'm going to tell you, I have watched that film trying to figure out who you are in there. I'm looking at the big spender girls, and I'm like, that's not her. That's not her. So we're going to deal with that after the show. But we'll stay with the music for a minute. And before we even get to Kurt Tom, so 1973 comes in. You have A Long, Long Winter with Curtis Mayfield.
Oh.
And so you're working with him, which I think a lot of people don't know even prior to Kurt Tom. So I wanted to find out how you met and how that all started.
Oh, boy. Well, my original meeting with Curtis was kind of funny because, I was living in Chicago. And I'm working nightclubs. And at the time I was working at the Playboy Club in what they called the living room, which was the big supper room where everybody would come and then dance after dinner, that kind of thing. So I decided, one day I just woke up and I said, well, I can't be out here singing till 4:00 in the morning for the rest of my life. I got kids to raise, the whole, I got to get the kids on the school bus. So I decided, I heard that there was a record company in town, Kurt Tom, and I looked it up in the phone book, which was an actual thing back in the day. A cab and went to Kurt Tom and walked in like I was somebody. And I just said to the receptionist, I'd like to see Curtis Mayfield, please. Like one of those. And she said, I'm sorry, he's not here, but his business partner is here. Would you like to see him? And I said, sure. So she took me right up to the office. And I introduced myself and explained that I was a singer. I was appearing over at the Playboy Club, and I would love to have them come and hear me because I would really like to record some music. And, of course, he said yes. I mean, what's he going to say? This nut job walks in his office and is like, oh, sure, we'll be there. So I leave. And, of course, it turns out just a few days later, all of a sudden there's this big rustle tussle, at the club. I'm on stage with the band. And in walks Curtis Mayfield and about 10 other people. And I was floored. I thought, oh, my God, they actually came. So I began my routine. I did some Aretha.
Okay.
I did. Who else did I do? I did Nina Simone. I did some songs from Fiddler on the Roof. I just went.
You just went.
Okay.
Something for everybody.
Something for everybody. I hit it.
The range, honey, the range. The range.
And I guess about probably about a week or so later, I had a contract.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
it turned out pretty good.
Oh, it definitely did. And we're going to hear how good it turned out in a sec. But as you shared memories, folks who watch the show know if you come in here, I have a memory for you. So before we get to the music, so I grew up a kind of Broadway kid myself. Okay. And my 3 favorite cast albums were Pearly, The Wiz, and Sweet Charity. Oh. So, that's my thing. That is my thing, baby. And the film, I mean, I thought I was little Ben Vereen. But with you, so ABC did a movie of the week, the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, with Jane Seymour, Burt Convey, Lauren Tooth, all that. And when they came kicking to If My Friends Could See Me Now, that was all she wrote. I had already knew who you were, but that was it. It was signed, sealed, delivered. I was like, oh my God, who is this Linda Clifford? So, and then of course we all found out who Linda Clifford is. So let's go to some music and then we'll come back to Keonde.
Okay, all right.
95 G. And that's the all-new AM Innovator. I'm Waleed Muhammad, and I have in the studio with me Linda Clifford. I said, because Linda, I'm telling you, I had to get my leg bandaged. The dog bit me. He bit me.
Well, you don't feed him now. You have to expect
Well, listen, I had to go, baby, but you don't. I'm back.
No, that ain't no good.
No? That ain't gonna get it, huh?
How much money you got?
I got a little money, but
that ain't enough.
You still the one with the money?
That's the way it is.
Oh, wow.
All right, girls, come on now.
Oh my God.
We're gonna have to get together and figure out what we're gonna do with all these men. You know how they can be, don't you? Oh yeah, they sit back and they take all the good years away. Take everything they can get. And then when you hit 25, talking about, oh, you done got too old for me, I'm gonna have to go out and find me somebody about 18. They ain't playing. So you laugh it off if you want to, but they serious as a heart attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, okay,
Yes, yes.
we got a live concert on our
I
end.
can't hear.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we
No.
did. That was
So
amazing.
keep
That
it,
was absolutely
Tiande.
amazing.
Keep it going.
Yes, absolutely amazing. Looking back at all those memories, all those songs.
Oh my
Thank you.
goodness.
Thank you. So, Miss Linda,
Yes.
much of your catalog was released on the Curtom label, and you released so many iconic songs during that period. And we're going to share some of our favorites in just a moment. But before that, I just have a couple questions for you. Given that Curtom was such an important label at the time, as it was associated with Mr. Curtis Mayfield, how did you approach creating a unique sound for yourself? And can you share any treasured memories you may have working with the label?
Oh boy. I think one of the best memories I have would be going into the studio to, we're looking for material. After the first album, nobody knew what was going to happen when that album came out. And the fact that From Now On made it to the charts and did as well as it did, it was like, oh my goodness, we need to follow up with something, And so we're, trying to gather material and people are writing and that kind of thing. And so we're actually in the studio with the band, the whole band, and they start playing this groove, and I just start rapping about my ex-husband. I'm just talking about him like a dog. The engineer, Roger Anderson, records it without my knowledge. I had no idea he was. So we finished, we're laughing, we're having a great time, and, take this dog with you, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden it starts to play back in the studio. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I told everybody what was happening in my house. So
That's all right.
obviously, I think what was happening in a lot of houses because there were so many young women, in my age group and younger who were so attached to that song, who were like, yes, girl, tell it, and, women had a specific role back in those days. We weren't allowed to do certain things. We had, we were at the mercy of the record labels. It's like, no, you have to wear this, or you have to wear your hair like that, or you gain 5 pounds, you need to lose that, and blah, that kind of thing. And so I think at that point, women were really coming into their own about, well, wait a second, I want a little control here because, I'm the one that's out there on the stage doing all this. And then it turns out that I actually, because they kept that particular song, I wrote Runaway Love. And yes, and did not get the credit. It was attributed to someone else. So, so if you don't get that credit, you don't get that money.
Right.
Yes.
And we went back and forth about that. Well, we're going to fix that, and it's going to be taken care of, and don't worry. But when you're in a situation where you're really relying on someone else for, your paycheck, really, there's you have to kind of bite your tongue a little bit. You can't be like, well, because I like that Stuyvesant. That part of me was ready to come out.
I know best style.
Yes.
That's why I ain't saying nothing. I'm just like, all right.
So, but I said, no. I have to control this because, I have these children to think about, and I have hopefully a future, down the line. So I'm just going to stay calm. And then, of course, we did these other songs, but that memory stands out to me, just being in the studio, goofing around.
Yes.
And we ended up with this huge hit song that is still being played.
Yes, it is.
Still the one.
Yes, it is.
It's still the one.
Yes,
it is.
I'm so thankful and so grateful to all the DJs and the people who listen to that tune and people who write to me, you know, some of the folks that you talked about, Dominic and Hillary, and you know, we talk every day online.
Okay, all right.
Like I talk to people, and that just brings me so much joy. But that's a good memory for me.
Awesome, thank you. And you definitely came into your own during that period. So thank you, thank you for all the music. But I want to share with you my favorite song. I have a long list of all-time favorite songs, but I also have a shorter list of songs that I never get tired of hearing. And "Hold Me Close" is one of those songs. "Hold Me Close" is my jam.
Isn't that a great tune?
It's an awesome, awesome song. I tell you, it was the B-side to "Bridge Over Troubled Water," but in my household, it was an A-side. It was an A-side, and it got a lot of radio play as well. It's what I get the ugly face when I dance on that one. I mean, you can't tell me nothing when "Hold Me Close" is on. That is it. I feel like I've been to the club and I've been to church, and given the little innuendo, I feel like I'm going to do some adult activities, but that's another story. But "Hold Me Close," thank you for that. I appreciate you for that song always.
Thank you so much. You know, I have some favorites too, and a lot of times, you know, in spite of your position with the label, you might hear something that the execs don't hear. That was one of the songs that I said, that song right there is a jam, and that needs sweet melodies. Hold Me Close. There were certain tunes that they just kind of let slide. They said, no, that's okay. It's a album filler. I'm like, that's no album filler. That's a hit.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Look, just have an album filled with hits. Look,
yes.
And let me shout out Jeffrey. Let me shout out Trevor. Let me shout out Danny. You got the folks up in here. Then we're going to go to my song. But like I said, there is always something happening with you on stage. Like you come out and then there's some dancers coming up. It's a silver man. It's like, don't they just like, then you want to just say, just let me and the band be out here? Like, I need all this.
I am so surprised. That particular, I know what video you're talking about, and that was that silver spaceman or something. I did not know they were behind me. I turned around. I was like, oh. And he was just grinding and carrying on.
I said, because poor Linda Clifford, she trying to, man, she said, what? But my song, though,
okay,
You Are.
That's a great tune.
Oh my gosh. It's one of just not my favorite songs by you, but one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just so beautiful, and it's so light, and it's so ethereal. And what I love, and I just want to find out your experience singing it, because a lot of songs about love, the person is referred to as a lover, as a lover, as a lover. And that's You Are a Beautiful Person. In fact, I dedicated it to the In the Groove family last season at the close of the thing. So I just want to, if you can share anything about recording that song.
Well, I can share with you that originally Curtis recorded it because he wrote it. And then he said, you know, why don't we do it together? So then, you know, we had his recording, and they had me go in and do a recording, and they put us together. And then they said, well, maybe we should just let her do it by herself. By her own self. So then I had, you know, both of those examples to pull from. And I just, the lyric is so incredible. And I am a lyric person. You know, I want, when I get a song, if it doesn't move me somehow or touch me, then I can't really perform it the way that I think it should be performed. I want to have that special moment with the song. And I love it. And I think that song has great lyrics. Great.
And and that's one thing I was going to say. You feel it when you sing it. It's just, it doesn't need anything. It's just you and the lyric. It's Linda and the lyrics. And that's all it is. And that's all it needs. And so like we have these songs that I think of as the Linda Clifford songs from the heart. And then there's the Linda Clifford kind of you speak your heart there, but then there's Linda Clifford speaking your mind.
Oh,
And,
Lord.
you talk a little about Runaway Love, but I know Donnell is going to take us back there. So Donnell, why don't you hit it?
Oh my goodness. Thanks for joining us, Miss Linda. I am just, can you hear me?
Where'd you go, Donnell?
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
We can hear him.
We can hear him.
He want to ask you about Don't Give It Up. Start talking while we work it out. That's what he want to know about.
Don't give it up. Okay, so of course, most women have had the experience of walking down the street, especially in New York, construction workers, cops, firemen, everybody, there's a whistle or a hey or, some kind of little thing. And inevitably somebody in the car will pull up, hey, you need a ride kind of thing. So, I was pulling from that when I started working on Don't Give It Up. That was my story base. And I was just trying to follow up Runaway Love with some helpful information for the younger women out, because if you gonna give it up for free, that's all I'm saying. And what my mom used to tell me, why you gonna buy the cow if you get the milk for free? Right? So I was just trying to pass that along and let the younger generation know it's okay to hold out. Mm-hmm. It's okay to respect yourself and not, fall for those typical lines that you hear every day. You don't have to fall for that.
Mm-hmm. Did she go off the cuff? Did she go off the cuff when she said that?
I like it.
Can you hear Donnell now? Donnell, say something.
Did you go off the
No. He want to know, did you just get in there and start talking, or did you have something written down, or you just sat and said, you know what, let me tell my story?
Who? What, me?
You, when you did that one.
I started talking the same way I did with my love.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
What color is your money?
Right.
Talk about Hamilton,
Okay. Right. And like as you said with Runaway Love, and we look at Don't Give It Up, they're still with us because in actuality, women are still, and we're here in March talking about women's history, women still having to tell their story. But at your time, you had and I know Donnell wanted to talk about this, you kind of had the Betty Wrights, and then you also had the Lolita Holloways, you had Rochelle Fleming, like people who were just getting in there spitting it. Yes. They were telling the story.
Yes.
And like you said, and not just the women, because we all know, the kids, we tell them stories too. Boo, I'm the one with the money. What you gonna do? What is you talking about? Be going, peasant. So we all kind of related.
I know, absolutely. And men, I had issues with a few men as a result of Runaway Love. I got into a taxi cab at O'Hare Airport. He tried to pull over and put me out his cab when he found out who I was. He was like, you said my lady put me out the house.
I know.
Because of you. I said, no, I'll put you
out ask her, did he take his dog with him?
I thought, oh my God, what happened? I don't know how it was that he found out. He kept looking at me in the rearview mirror. And I don't know, maybe he recognized me or something, but I don't remember how he found out who I was. And when he asked me, I thought he was a fan. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Next thing I know, he's pulling over on Lakeshore Drive.
What?
Yes.
And was it wintertime?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Winter. I feel for you.
No.
But see, and Donnell said to ask, did she tell him to take the dog with him? But that's why she kicked him out, because he's so proud he ain't making that money. You don't kick out no fare. That's why she said you too stupid to be in here. You got to go, and you can't come back till you take Linda Clifford home and get that check.
That's right.
But so there's, again, there's this huge catalog of songs. We're going to come back and slow it down a bit with a song that we all know. We've heard different people sing it, but we want to come back to where it all started. So,
Okay.
Sue.
I used to cry each night, but that was all before you came. I love had to hurt to turn out right, but now you're here. It's not the same. It's not the same. And in the morning when the kisses us, he takes me down.
Go ahead.
And sees so. And in the evening when the moon is high, he holds me close and won't let go. He won't let go.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And
Yes.
so I do a thing, you can't keep a good song down, because I love song origins, the stories behind them, different people who sang them, etc. And I know some people know you did the song, but everyone doesn't necessarily know that the song was crafted for you. So why don't you talk
Right.
a little about that?
Well, okay. The song actually was written by Michael Gore and Dean Pitchford, and those two wonderful writers, they happen to be the guys behind the soundtrack for
Red
Fame,
light.
along with so many other great
Mhm.
songs. So when I met them, um, I went in and I recorded Red Light, that for the soundtrack, and I got to know Michael, who writes the music, and we became fast friends. We were just good buddies, and so we started talking and sharing stories and talking about life and that kind of thing. And I started telling him about my husband, um, and so who I've now been married to for 43 years. So, and what a wonderful guy he was, and how different this married life was compared to what I had experienced previously, and how I ran away from it for such a long time. And because I didn't want any, if this was love, I didn't want no parts of it. Okay. So he changed my mind. He turned me around. And Michael called me one day, and I live in Chicago now, and he's in New York, and he said, "I've written a song for you and Nick, my husband." I said, "Really?" And he says, "Yeah, I want you to hear it." I flew out to New York, and we were about to do another album, this time with Capitol Records.
Mm-hmm.
And so he played that song for me. He sat down at the piano and played that song. And I just lost it. I'm like, oh my God, you took everything that I was feeling and all my thoughts and put them into this song. And we put it on the album, and Capitol decided that it wasn't a good song. All right. Yes,
Wow.
they did not want to release it. Now,
Right.
this man had written 8 other songs for me that were just incredible, never got released. But that was one that we managed to get on the album. And then, of course, and it's funny, I never heard the Sister Sledge version until maybe 5 years ago. And
Wow.
everybody's heard Whitney's version of it, which was incredible. But the first time I heard it, I'm like, hey, that's my song. Why are these people singing my song?
Donnell, don't say nothing.
He's muted anyway.
Yeah, right. She won't hear it. Because Donnell will tell you somebody is singing your song. But, we wanted to talk about, and I have to say, they wanted to talk about it. I said, well, let me find out, because sometimes folk, I said, but it's a beautiful song. And there's a different experience with each version. And I'm going to let Keondae go, but I also need to shout out, somebody said something about the choreography, the William Bell dancers, that was phenomenal, the piece that they did. And I will let everybody know, they're not even dancing to that song. But
really?
That's the Wizard of This Man right here.
Okay.
Yeah, but no. I mean, and it's funny, we talk about that weekly, and that's the thing I think around songs being special and this experience being special. Everything just comes together and blends in this magnificent way, and I just get to sit back and allow it to happen. Just like your beautiful album covers, EJ says, you had the best album covers.
The best.
What's up, Derek? So now we're going to get back to the song, and Keondae, you share some of your thoughts.
Well, I love the song, and again, thank you for that song. But I have a special connection with each of the versions that were just shown. The original, yours, I just love how your voice just beautifully caressed that tender melody. It was just perfect, spot on, and just wonderful. Sister Sledge, I have a special relationship with them, so it was special to me in that way. And then everybody heard Whitney's version, so it was just everywhere. So, but I love all three. But my heart always goes to original, and to know that you were responsible for a song that continued to move on throughout history and throughout time. And that's just an amazing accomplishment, and something just wonderful to stand in and to know. And also, we didn't put it in the package, but Luther did a version of it as well.
I know.
Yes.
I'll tell you something. Luther was one of the background singers on that song, as well as on Red Light. So, his singers were doing all the background vocals in New York at that time. That was the big thing. So Luther was there from the very beginning.
Yes. And it came full circle for him as well.
It did.
And Donnell, anything you want to add? You want me to say? You want me to share?
Just her strength in ballads, because we know her as the Runaway Love, the Don't Give It Up, the disco, queen. This is why I wore the Stevie Wonder shirt today, because she did a version of If It's Magic.
Yes.
That I was like, oh my God, it was just a different turn on it, a different arrangement, and I just really enjoyed it from her. So you forget that although her disco stuff is popular, she is a fully rounded singer that can give you different stuff. And ballads, I got a special place in my heart for ballads anyway. So
okay. Donnell forgot we've been cocktailing. So let me remember all this and say what I can say to you. No. And I'm glad he brought this up, because there's so much emphasis on dance records, but the fact that your voice is just beautiful on ballads, and your ballads are magnificent. And he said he wore a Stevie Wonder shirt because of your version of If It's Magic. And just that we honor, that part of your voice as well. And even when we say it out, to people out there, look through the catalog, listen to full albums, because as we said earlier, there's this side that we know the disco diva, but you are an R&B artist at the end of, like when I hear Runaway Love is an R&B song that I played in the club. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's just us.
Yeah.
That's, You know, when you know, like what were they used to play? Pinochle, get my Pepsi out the freezer, and you know your auntie we had a Virginia Slims in the long cigarette case. That's the Runaway Love.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing to do with the disco. They just played it in the disco because
They
auntie
did.
knew the DJ. And she
Right.
said, when I come, you gotta put that Linda Clifford record on. All this
my
other
God.
stuff. I know you love the nightlife and you got a boogie, but you
That's
gonna put that Linda Clifford on when I come in there. But I know you don't look, baby, and I got another glass waiting. But so there's this piece of, you know, often with a lot of singers that we love and we talk about their life in the past, they kind of stop at some point. But that's not the case for Linda Clifford. And then not just kind of in, you know, I know you raised a family, you did all those things. You're an incredible baker. Lord knows. Oh, yeah, I follow your feed. I know you bake.
Oh,
We expecting cookies for Easter.
And
if we got to get you coffee, we will send you coffee for cookies. Because if you don't know Linda Clifford loves some coffee, don't tell her she looked good on the album cover. Send her some coffee beans.
Send me some coffee beans.
but just, you know, you're still working. And then we have in 2015, you come out with the First Ladies of Disco.
Yes.
So talk a little about that.
This is a tremendous group of women that I work with occasionally. You know, we kind of swap out, and it's all the ladies, the original divas from back in the day. And right now, of course, Miss Martha Wash, who is like just incredible, and myself and Norma Jean Wright from Chic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we also had Evelyn Champagne King. We've had Jeannie Tracy. I mean, you name it. You know, so unfortunately, you know, with this industry, it's so very youth oriented. You know, that everything is about young people and going half naked. So, you know, and we don't want to do that. We just want to get out and sing and dance and have a good time. So, with the people who know our music and love to dance, we are right now, Norma Jean, Martha, and myself, we are the First Ladies of Disco. We just, our last gig before this horrible pandemic hit, we were in Las Vegas. We closed Vegas on March the 8th, I believe.
Wow.
8th. Yeah, we just
like a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you were at the Orleans, right?
We were at the Orleans, and everybody flew home. And then I was scheduled to leave to go to Germany for a soul show that was happening there. And that's when everything got shut down, like the day before I was to leave. And so grateful, you know, somebody was watching out for me that I was home, you know, because I could still be there.
Right.
Learning how to speak German.
Right, your seventh language.
So, yeah, so we are planning right now. We're looking forward to getting back out there, the three of us, and doing some more dates, and hopefully bringing some more of the ladies that were out there with us originally. We want to get everybody in on it again. So
good. Well,
can I please say?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can you please say come back to Vegas, because the time I'm here in Vegas and the times you've been here, I've missed every show.
No.
Yes, I missed every show. Either I was doing something else, another commitment, or I didn't hear about it until after the fact. So please come back so I can have this experience.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll be back in Vegas because we always have a fun time, and the crowds are wonderful. The Smith Center and the Orleans. I mean, they're so good to us. So
And you did Joe's Pub in New York. So, you know, I find, hey, that's my part of town. Hey, and the beauty is, you know, it's interesting. Earlier, you talked about kind of the taking on, and not even intentionally, this piece of delivering a message for women and telling our side of the story. So when we see performers who are still on it, who still pack a room, who still give it, I think it's just a powerful story for women. Like, there isn't this, I need to be young, or I need to be this, I need to be that. Life goes on and on and on as long as you live it. And you're living it. You know, you
We are
Yes.
trying our best to live it.
Yes.
Okay.
You ain't trying, you doing, sis.
Okay.
You living it with us. If you living it in the groove. Now this, you gonna live life anywhere, you won't live it in the groove.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
And we have loved you here. I'm going to turn it over to Keonde to see if there's anything else he wants to ask or find out before we head out.
All I want to say is thank you. Thank you for the years of musical magic and your spirit. And as someone mentioned earlier, these beautiful album covers that I have displayed here, they were flawless. Just thank you for being with us. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It's been a treat. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Wonderful time with you. I really loved every second of it. And I hope I can come back again.
Look. What you doing next week, girl?
Yes.
And now, you have anything you want to ask before we head out?
Thank you for being with us, Miss Linda. I do appreciate it. I'm honored. I'm touched. I'm gonna go listen to Fame when we hang up. Just thank you for everything, really.
Okay. And I'm going to add one thing. I'm gonna ask one question from the room that came up. Our buddy JJ Tate, DJ extraordinaire. He wanted to ask what it was like working with Ralph Rosario on Don't Give Up.
Ralphie is amazing. He is an amazing DJ mixer. Just, I love him. And we are very, very dear friends. We talk quite a bit online and on the phone and any other way you can. He's great. Working with him is incredible. So don't be scared. Okay.
All
If
right.
anybody got something,
No, if we ain't got nothing else, we got guts.
we got guts.
We got guts. And I'm going to tell you from just my end, like I said, growing up, knowing your music and watching your performance and just everything that you bring, it's beautiful to see you. It's an incredible honor to have you here.
Thank you so
with
much.
us. We have definitely loved it. The crowd has loved it. Definitely. Yes, I see y'all. Look, I told y'all when I got company, I can't read all that stuff y'all writing. Y'all look. But we didn't even get to the Shelter remix of Changing, going back to my roots or whatever. So you gonna have to come back because we got another side of Linda we're gonna get into.
There you go.
And we want all of you to come back. Thank you. We see some new friends. Hey, Lenore. Lenore talk about coffee. Everybody know Linda Clifford and coffee.
There you go.
But I'm going to tell y'all what, you definitely want to stop back in next week when we do Best of Our Love, the Groove's Greatest Hits. We're going to look back at season 2 because it's next week and then the season finale the week after that. So we're going to share some of our favorite moments, some of our favorite music. So you definitely want to be here for that. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen and you want to see more, Sue, come on, get the love offering screen up. There we go. Now, y'all know we come back week after week and we're going to give you the same kind of show all the time. But it is so beautiful when I check the box in the morning and see the droplets. It's just a wonderful thing. Hey to the congregation. And what's up?
Amen.
Libra Classics in the room. So Andre, who does all our original music, is in the show tonight. What is up, baby? So every time you hear an original song here, it's from him, Donnell, Keonde, Linda Clifford, everybody out there, Sue in the back. Thank you all. We got to go out, so let's go out with this, and we'll see you next week.
If my friends say